Have you ever fallen in love with somebody, but you just can't be with that person? Well, that is one of the main matters of the book that I chose, which is Sense and Sensibility, written by Jane Austen. Jane Austen is one of the most widely read writers in English literature. She was born in 1775 in England, on a large middle-class family. She was married and educated by her father and her older brothers. Her father let her read all the books from his library, and this inspired Jane to start writing, although writing wasn't a good activity for a lady on those days. She had a very close relationship with her only sister Cassandra, and she lived her entire life with her and her mother. Unlike the most of her female characters, she never got married. Actually, her novels criticize the dependence of women on marriage to secure social standing and economic security. Also, the most of her works criticize the novels of sensitivity of the second half of the 18th century. She died in 1817 at the age of 41, product of a mysterious illness. Her first full-length novel was Sense and Sensibility, published in 1811. This novel is set on southwest England, mainly in London and Devon, and takes place between 1792 and 1797, so the story lasts 5 years. The novel's title can represent the contrast between the classic and the romanticism currents. Actually, Jane's novels are considered to be part of the transition to 19th century realism. This contrast is also reflected on the main characters, Eleanor and Marianne. They are two young middle-class sisters. Although they are sisters, they are very different from each other. Eleanor is the older sister. She is 19 years old. She is sensible and reserved, and she is the most responsible person on her family, even more than her mother. She always puts her own feelings aside to attend others' worries and interests. She is romantically attached to Edward Ferrars, an upper-class guy of about 25 years old, who wasn't really handsome, but shy and reserved as Eleanor. They couldn't be together because of the differences of their social classes. Edward's mother didn't want them to get married. On the other hand is the younger sister, Marianne. She is 16 years old, and contrary to her sister, she is very expressive and sensitive. She guides herself and her actions only based on her feelings, without thinking so much on the possible consequences of her acts. She is romantically attached to John Willoughby, a dashing figure of about 20 years old, who charms her with his cultural and artistic abilities. After some time, he disappointed Marianne, and she became so sad that she neglected her own health and became so ill that she was going to die. Fortunately, a doctor could save her, and at this point she started to maturate. She is the character who undergoes the most development within the book. So now I'm going to read something very important that Marianne said to Eleanor once. And she said, "My illness has made me think. I see in my own behavior since I met Willoughby nothing but foolishness towards myself and unkindness towards others. I took no care of my own health. My illness was my own work. If I had died, it would have been self-destruction. And how miserable I would have left you, my nurse, my friend, my sister. How could you have consoled our mother? When I look back, I seem to have injured everybody. I repaid the great kindness of Mrs. Jennings with heartless ingratitude. I was impertinent and unjust to everyone we know, but above all, I have wronged you and our mother. I knew your grief, but I never considered your comfort. I left you to shoulder all our social responsibilities. So I will change. I will control my feelings and improve my manners. As for Willoughby, I will not forget him, but I will not allow his memory to rule my life. Well, in this passage, we can notice how Marianne matured and how she and how she realized that her childish behavior was foolish and wasn't inappropriate. So so I think the main lesson of this book is for us to realize that we mustn't guide ourselves through our lives only based on our feelings, and we need to be more sensible, but at the same time we can be so sensible. We need to have a balance and a control, and I think we need to guide ourselves like based on our feelings, but also on our reason. And well, that's all. Thank you for watching this video.